What's up, y'all? Couple things before I get started today. Looking at your restart responses every day. A lot of you guys are doing a really good job with the first page. I think you're not scrolling all the way down because there's 2 pages of work. And a lot of you guys aren't answering the 3 questions I post on the second page every day. So make sure you're doing both pages of work. Second thing, our Zoom meeting at 11:30 today. We'll cover a lot of different things. Make sure you're getting your Caesars done for the week, your reading log turned in for the week. Make sure you guys are clicking turn in on your work on Classroom. A lot of you guys are getting the work done, but you're not clicking turn in. And I'm having to go through and find and check and see if you actually did the work or not. Just makes it a little bit easier on me if you actually just click turn in. We've done this all year with the turn in button. Just make sure you remember to click that, okay? Remember, as we're reading through the book, every chapter has different characters' perspectives. Yesterday we met Brendan Espinoza, and he's the guy that was recording everybody. We learned a little bit more about Chase. So I'm just going to get into it today. We're starting this chapter with Brendan Espinoza. And we're going to move from there. We're starting on page 44. I'll tell you guys from now on what page the chapters start on. So, like, this one starts on 44. When I get to the next chapter, I'll tell you what page that's on. And if you missed a word or two from in between the definitions that you're searching for, and you need to go back, you'll know, okay, well, chapter 1 is these pages, chapter 2 is these pages, and you'll be able to go back and just listen to that part. Okay? Alright, Brendan Espinoza. A prophet is not without honor, but in his own country and among his own kin and in his own house. That's a quote from the Bible, King James Version. Turns out this applies to YouTubers as well. Here I am, ready to shoot the greatest video in the history of humanity, and I can't get anybody to help me. Come on, you guys, I plead with my fellow vidiots, members of Hawassi Middle School's video club. You can't all have dentist appointments. It's against the laws of probability. All right, you got me, admits Hugo Verberg, raising his hands in surrender. I don't have a dentist appointment. The reason I won't help you is because you're completely out of your mind. What do you care? I shoot back. That's my problem, not yours. I'm not asking you to do the hard part. I just need someone to be my wingman. Shoshana, you'll help me, right? Not in a million years, is her reply. You're going to get yourself into trouble. I'll put your name on the YouTube video as a co-producer, I wheedle. Oh, good, she drawls. It'll help the cops spell my name right when they get me arrested. I'm out, Brendan, and you'd be out too if you had any sense. So it's a no. No from Hugo, no from Shoshana, no from Barton, no from the whole video club. Mauricia even suggests that I should see a mental health professional. I slept against my locker watching them walk away, deserting me. Where's the loyalty? Where's the club spirit? Where's the fire of creativity? The betrayal stings, but mostly I hate to miss out on this idea. It could be the next thing that goes viral. But it can't go viral if it never gets made. I look around the crowded halls, kids loading up backpacks for dismissal. Do I know anybody? Actually, I know just about everybody, but none of them will meet my eyes. I'm not the most popular guy at school. I'm not sure why. I'm on the honor roll, president of the video club, champion of the academic decathlon 2 years running. Come to think of it, those are all probably some of the reasons why kids aren't lining up to ask what I'm doing after school today. Nobody even acknowledges my existence. Then, out of the passing parade, someone notices me hunkered down beside my locker. Oh man, it's Chase. That's all I need to put the finishing touch on this perfect afternoon. Bad enough I can't shoot my video. I don't need to hang by the waistband of my underwear off of a peg in the girls' changing room. He pauses, frowning at me, as if trying to come up with where he remembers me from. It must be weird to walk around your own school knowing nobody when you should know everybody. A familiar face, even mine, must really stand out. The cafeteria I supply? We almost had lunch together. I'm Brendan. His face relaxes into a sheepish smile in recognition. His arm sling is gone, and even his cuts and scrapes are fading. Chase, he introduces himself. I have to laugh. Everybody knows you. How can I forget the face that stared? Oh, I'm getting a phone call. I'm back. I have to laugh. Everybody knows you. How can I forget the face that stared into so many of my nightmares? With Joel Weber gone, I might be next on the list of preferred targets. I should have told him my name was Harold. Too late now. On the other hand, the word is Chase is off the football team thanks to his head injury, and certainly he seems different than he was last year. Maybe that's because once you cut a guy's chicken for him, he can never really be that scary again. So I try the impossible. Hey Chase, are you busy this afternoon? He shrugs. What have you got in mind? I push my luck. I'm shooting this video to put on YouTube, but I need a wingman. Can you help me out? Part of me is screaming, abort! Abort! It's one thing to coexist in the world with people like Chase Ambrosi. It's quite another to recruit the guy for something nobody else will touch. He never actually says yes. He just goes with me. I explain on the way and tell him how the video is going to go. He doesn't tell me I'm nuts. He just laughs and asks me if I'm kidding. Just because something is funny doesn't mean you treat it as a joke, I assure him. Comedy is serious business. If people are going to laugh at this, it'll be because we worked hard at it and got it right. He actually seems to think it over. Yeah, I can see that. But I'm not the one who's going in, right? My doctor would freak out, not to mention my mom. Wow, Chase Ambrosi has a mom? I always thought the popular people floated down to Earth in a column of pure light from the great space arc. It's all me, I promise. You just have to work the camera. You just have to work camera too. We stop by my place to pick up the tricycle. Chase even takes it for a test drive on the street, practically cackling with mirth. I laugh too, because he looks pretty funny. He's a tall guy, so as he pedals, his knees rise up around his ears. My mother comes out to investigate the ruckus. When she sees who I'm with, she's practically ready to dial 911. I can't really blame her. When the Chases of the world come hang out with me, it usually means I'm about to be dangled by my feet out of a high window. It's fine, Mom, I soothe her. Chase is helping me out with a video project. Good to meet you, Chase introduces himself politely. She's tight-lipped. Oh, we've met. I get Chase out of there before Mom says something I'll regret. We head downtown, taking turns alternately riding, pulling, and carrying the trike. Our destination, the shiny bumper car wash on Bell Street. I hand him the school flip cam and he goes off to distract the attendants. Chase is even better for this than one of the vidiots, because he's kind of a celebrity around town. Not just a star athlete, but the son of the last star athlete. Plus, everybody's heard about his accident over the summer, so all the attention is on him. That leaves me free to sneak around the back and put on a headband with the other camera mounted on it. A waterproof GoPro I've brought from home. Sneaking ahead of the next car, I place my tricycle on the conveyor, bracing the wheels against the tire block that moves the vehicles through the washing tunnel. Then I sit down on the trike, reach up the camera, and hit record. My heart is pounding and I'm tense with anticipation. This is it, the moment of truth. The conveyor pushes me, and the first blast of water hits. It's all I can do to keep from screaming. It's ice cold. Considering the research and planning I did to get ready for this stunt, it never occurred to me that they'd use cold water in a car wash. I take hot showers. Why wouldn't cars? The frigid blast has my heart beating so fast it's practically popping out of my head. I try to tell myself to get used to it, but it's not possible. I'm hyperventilating to the point where I can't get any air. Just when I'm about to pass out and topple over the trike, the water stops. Gasping for breath, I glance over to the observation area. Sure enough, there's Chase filming. I experience a surge of relief. The only thing worse than going through this would be going through this for nothing. My reprieve is short-lived. The soap is next, pelting down on me like wet snow. They only know two temperatures in here, cold and colder. Two gigantic spinning brushes come out at me on one robotic arm. I'm vaguely aware that my glasses are gone. That's not important, though. I reach up and confirm the GoPro is still strapped on my head out of the corner of my eye, which stings now from the studs. I see that Chase is following along still. He's hysterical with laughter, but the camera's steady in his hands, and that's the main thing. The rinse cycle is next. More hyperventilating, followed by a blast of wind that threatens to hurl me off the tricycle. Actually, it's great. It's the dryer and it's hot. Even better, it means I'm coming to the end. There should be light at the end of the tunnel, but I can't make out much. I lost my glasses when the brushes did their thing. When the door lifts, I pedal out of there, nearly running over Chase. He never stops filming, not even when the manager turns off the machinery and comes to chew us out. "Very stupid, Ambrosi," he yells. "Is this your idea of a joke? You could have got him killed, you know. This isn't the first time you've put people in danger in this town. I'm surprised you didn't have a few cherry bombs left over. I'm calling the cops." "It isn't Chase's fault," I managed to croak. "It's mine. I have very little strength left, but I have to speak up. The whole thing was my idea. It's my video project. I talked Chase into helping me." "Brendan?" The manager squints at me. I guess I'm not that easy to recognize, soaking wet and half dead, and my skin all slimy. I think I got wax treatment in there or something. "Is that you? Why would you do such a crazy thing?" "I'm the president of the video club at Hawassi Middle School," I supply. "Adults always cut you more slack if they think something is for a school project. It does the trick, especially when I promise to put an ad for the shiny bumper on the club's yearbook page. Sure, I got yelled at, but at least no one is talking about calling the cops anymore. The manager even sends one of his employees into the mechanism to rescue my glasses, which are undamaged except for a small crack in the right lens. We head back to my place. I'm riding the trike, mostly because I'm too weak to stand. Chase carries the precious cargo, the 2 cameras with the footage on them. "Sorry, Chase," I mumble contrite. "I didn't mean to get you in trouble." He cocks an eyebrow. "Looks more like you got me out of trouble. All I did was tell the truth. The whole thing was my idea." "That guy was ready to have me arrested," he insists. "Well," I tell him, "that's mostly because of your reputation." "Oops. That is, your old reputation, you know, for stuff you probably don't even remember doing." In my depleted state, I'm not thinking straight. Digging my grave with my mouth. He shakes his head. "My reputation wasn't what made the difference. That was all yours. You must be somebody pretty special around here to get that kind of reaction from a guy who runs a car wash." I'm blown away. My record as a nerd and a goody two-shoes never seemed like much to me before, for sure. It didn't compare to Chase's. Athlete, bad boy, big man on campus. But it was my reputation, not his, that got us out of the jam back there. At my house, we managed to sneak upstairs without Mom getting a look at her baby boy in such a state of disrepair. I'd never be able to convince her that Chase didn't do it to me. A bully palooza where I was half drowned in the river and had my glasses smashed by a ball peen hammer. I can barely bring myself to take the time to change out of my wet clothes. That's how anxious I am to see the footage we shot. I keep expecting Chase to lose interest and take off, but he hangs around and it starts to sink in that he's just as into it as I am. We watched the video from the GoPro first. It's pretty insane. A blizzard of flying foam and torrents of water and a lot of whimpering. I wasn't aware of at the time. I might have been trying to yell for help, but I couldn't form actual words. I was also thrashing around more than I remember. It's a miracle I stayed on the trike. The best part is when the brushes came in, it's as if I'm being attacked by 2 whirling monsters from where the wild things are. Next, we play Chase's footage from the viewing area next to the washing tunnel. There I am, clinging to the tricycle like it's the only thing keeping me from floating away into outer space. When the freezing cold water hits my entire body, rides, belly dancer style, only at triple speed. And when the powerful dryer's on, you can actually see my skin pushed up against the bone structure of my skull. It's pure gold, and I have to say that a lot of credit for that goes to Chase. He's got a real knack for camera work. We laugh until we're falling over each other. It's definitely more fun to watch it than it was going through it in real life. I show Chase how to piece the video together on the computer, intercutting footage from both cameras for maximum effect. For example, when you see the GoPro image flying all over the place and then jump to me jerking and flailing, struggling to keep my perch on the trike, it's even more hilarious because it explains why the picture inside the car wash is so wild and chaotic. Chase catches on quickly and adds some good suggestions of his own, like a split screen of both cameras when the spitting brush comes in. At last, we set the whole thing to music, Ride of the Valkyries, and upload the clip to YouTube. We give it the title of How to Clean Your Tricycle. Brendan Espinosa and Chase Ambrosi, co-producers. I kid you not, he actually thanks me when I include him in the credits. We watch it on every device in the house, the computer, our phones, and an iPad. We even Chromecast it to the TV. It doesn't get old. If this video won't go viral, there's no justice in the world, or at least on YouTube. He's still laughing as I see him out. That might be the most fun I've ever had. I swear, he's like a kindergartner who's just been handed the world's most intricate balloon animal. Without thinking, I reply, "How do you know? You've probably forgotten most of the fun you've had." He looks surprised for a few seconds, and I figure I'm about to get his book bag in the side of the head. Then he says, "Good point. But it was still awesome." Me and my big mouth. I can't leave well enough alone. "You know, we've got a video club at school and you'd be a natural with your camera skills. We could really use you." That might be the dumbest thing I've ever said aloud. Chase Ambrosi and his football buddies had made a career out of terrorizing kids just like the vidiots. Recruiting him is like inviting a shark over for sushi. He grins at me. When's the next meeting? Alright, we're on chapter 7. Back to Shoshana, the one that dumped yogurt on Chase's head. We're on page 54. He did it! The crazy fool actually did it! We've gathered around the smartboard in Miss DeLeo's room watching how to clean your tricycle on YouTube. I've got to hand it to Brendan. When he sets his mind on something, he follows through, even after an entire video club told him to take a hike. And you know what? He knocked it out of the park. I've never seen anything so funny. It's a wonder he didn't get himself killed, but he's very much alive, beaming like a proud papa as he premieres his work to rave reviews from the club. Miss DeLeo, our faculty advisor, laughs until tears are streaming down her cheeks. "Brendan, how could you even dream of doing such a thing?" "The worst part was how cold the water was," he says, "but it was totally worth it." We burst into thunderous applause when the music comes to a crescendo and the tricycle is pedaled out of the shiny bumper into the light. Brendan takes a bow, a goofy grin plastered onto his face. Credits appear on the screen, produced by Brendan Espinoza and Chase Ambrosi. Chase Ambrosi? The ovation dies abruptly in the classroom. "That's part of the joke, right?" Mauricia Dunbar offers, dubiously. "Like produced by William Shakespeare or Mickey Mouse?" "No, it was really him," Brendan tells us. "None of you guys would help me, and he said okay." "Why would you even ask him?" I blurt furiously. "Do you have a death wish or something?" Mr. Leo steps in. "Isn't it enough that the video got made and it's fabulous?" "I don't have a death wish," Brendan retorts. "And you know what? I'm glad I asked him because he did an awesome job on camera too. Maybe it's from sports, but he really has a steady hand. Better than any of us, including me. We could use a guy like that." I get the sinking feeling in my gut. "You didn't." Brendan nods. "I invited him to join the club." We all start babbling at the same time. I'm so angry that I can't really make out much of it, but it's pretty obvious that everyone is relating the story of some mean thing that Chase and probably Aaron and Bear did to them. There's definitely no shortage of material. The chorus of complaint goes on and on. "Yeah, I get it," Brendan holds up his hands. "Those guys picked on me too, more than any of you. Not more than your poor brother, I think. Not more than my poor brother, I think. But Chase Ambrosi, who worked on this video," Brendan goes on, "is not the same person. He lost his memory when he fell off his roof this summer. Total amnesia. I know it sounds weird, but maybe he forgot what a jerk he was." "Big talk from the guy who thinks riding a tricycle through the car wash is a smart thing to do," puts in Hugo. Brendan doesn't back down. "Seriously, we had a great time yesterday. He was helpful, he had good ideas, he was nice. He's different." All I can see is a red haze in front of my eyes, and through it, Joel packing his suitcase to go away to school. I remind Brendan, "My brother would be in this room right now if it wasn't for that jerk. I don't want him here. None of us do." "That's enough," Mr. Leo cuts me off. "School clubs are open to everyone. We don't pick and choose. If the boy wants to be a member, then we take him in. It's as simple as that." The atmosphere in the room is supercharged. Rage from me, defiance from Brendan, firmness from the teacher, and varying degrees of protest, discontent, and unease from everyone else. It boils around us when a voice from the doorway asks, "Am I late? What did I miss?" It's him, the enemy. He enters the room tentatively but smiling, and here I am, unarmed without my trusty tub of frozen yogurt. "Welcome," Mr. Leo greets him. "Brendan was just showing us your new video. We're so happy you decided to join us." Chase seems hesitant. He probably picks up on the disconnect between Mr. Leo's warm welcome and the body language coming off the rest of us. Only the keep out sign is missing. When he sees me, he takes a step back, a little fearful. The fear looks good on him. At least that part of his memory works. He remembers that I'm the person who hates his guts. How to clean your tricycle, kill, Brendan assures him. And look, we already have 46 views on YouTube. I was hoping it would be viral already, but these things take time. They call it going viral because it's supposed to spread fast, like a virus, I put in sourly. Some viruses are slower than others, Brendan replies. So what exactly do you guys do? Chase asks. You know, when you're not riding tricycles through car washes. That bugs me too, for sure. That's how he sees us. A collection of nerdy wingnuts who pull off moronic stunts and call it brilliance. Brendan can be kind of a goofball, but he's also the smartest kid in school. A knuckle-dragger like Chase will never appreciate someone who's destined to accomplish something that will make the world a better place. Sorry, guys. Why would he? The simplest way to make the world a better place would be to kick out Chase Ambrosi. Mr. Leo provides the answer. Well, some of us will be working on entries for the National Video Journalism Contest. You mean just Shoshana? Brendan snickers. If you get your head out of YouTube long enough, I tell him, you'd see what a great opportunity is. This year's guideline is to profile a senior citizen with an interesting story to tell. We should all consider it. I don't think I know any old people, is Chase's Ambrosi's reaction. Probably because he gets his jollies by pushing them out into traffic. We'll also be producing this school's video yearbook, the teacher goes on. That's something you can sink your teeth into. I cringe. Bad analogy for Chase, who I always pictured as a mountain lion picking over a carcass. What goes into a video yearbook, Chase asks. Student interviews mostly, Hugo jumps in. You get so much more than a standard picture and quote. He shrinks back when he remembers who he's talking to. My brother's experience has trained us to avoid capturing Chase's attention. He can't target you if he doesn't notice you're there. Chase nods. Makes sense. Nifty way to keep the score of the kids whose lives you've ruined over the year, isn't it? I add bitterly. He's thrown by that, but Miss DeLeo jumps in quickly. We'll also need content on every club and team in the school. Chase, since you play sports, I thought you'd be a natural to cover the athletic program. A hopeful buzz greets the suggestion. Interviewing the jocks is a miserable job, but they're always so uncooperative and hostile. The worst of them is usually our newest member himself, but we've still got Aaron and Bear, plus Joey Petronas, Landon Rubio, and some of the others that contend with. It's like Miss America. If the winner can't fulfill her duties, there are plenty of runners-up to take over the tiara. I'll try, says Chase, but I don't really know those guys so well anymore. I mean, they know me. Well, how about that? Brendan's right. This big dummy fell on his ugly head hard enough to give himself amnesia. What other explanation would there be that he doesn't really know the juvenile co-delinquents that he's partnered with? All right, Chapter 8, Chase Ambrosi. We're on page 62. The Hiwassee Middle School Hurricanes play a preseason scrimmage against East Norwich on Saturday. I make it a point to be there, not as a player, but as a member of the video club. Mr. Leo put me in charge of athletics for the video yearbook, so the game is a good place to start his inning. As I climb the bleacher, the flip cam is an awkward weight in my hand. I don't feel like the video club kid. Not that I can recall being any kind of kid. They're supposed to be the side of my greatest glories, yet I've lost all that. The sight of the players in the field doesn't bring a rush to the gridiron memories. I guess I always pictured vast crowds cheering my name, but there isn't much turnout for the scrimmage. Maybe a couple of dozen kids and a handful of other people scattered around the stands. I raise the camera and shoot a couple of players. Brendan said I was a natural at filming how to clean your tricycle. That was easy, though. That stunt at the car wash was the craziest, funniest, most bizarre thing I've ever seen. I honestly couldn't look away, and since I was watching through the camera viewfinder, I captured the insanity from start to finish. It would be wrong to say that I had the time of my life, since I can't speak about my life before the accident, but it was more than enough for Brendan to convince me that Video Club was the place for me. A foghorn voice drowns out the PA announcement, broadcasting over the loudspeaker. Champ, over here! It's my dad sitting in the fourth row with Helene. I never miss a game, he exclaims, assuring me that he was here on the 50-yard line week in and week out, all all through the 28-year the 28-year gap between a state championship and my own. Helene's turning into a real fan too. My half-sister has set up an impressive array of dollhouse furniture on the metal bleachers and is playing with a couple of Barbies. As far as I've seen, she hasn't looked in the direction of the field. For such a big Hurricanes fan, Dad sure doesn't seem to have any fun watching them play. The longer we sit, the darker his mood gets, blackening and lowering until it hangs over him like a line of thunderheads. Did you see that? He complains. The left guard is supposed to cut block on that play. Otherwise, there's no hole for the running back. Or, our quarterback doesn't see the field. He had a man wide open in the end zone. Or, what kind of tackling is that? Did you use to tackle like that? I never tackled like that. I don't remember anything about playing football, I tell him honestly, zooming tight in on the huddle. So I have no idea how I used to tackle. Yeah, well, it was a lot better than that, he snorts. You used to wrap up your man and bring him down properly. By this time, the Hurricanes are on the wrong end of a 24-7 score. It's funny. I've forgotten everything about my own football career, but I know the game itself. When I shoot footage of action on the field, I get what the players are doing, or at least trying to do. Either East Norwich is all universe, or this year's Hiwassee Hurricanes aren't a team of destiny. I lost my spot. I have no idea how good I am, but it's hard to believe that one person can make up the difference between those stumblebums and last year's state champions. We're out of sync, I observe. The O-line is opening up some good holes, but the backs are never in the right place to run through them. Exactly. Dad slaps me too hard on my bad shoulder. It's what I always say. We've got the talent we do when you're on the field anyway. All we need is the timing. I'm sure it isn't the first time my father and I have ever agreed on something, but it's the first time I actually remember. That's another thing amnesia made me forget. How much I like his approval. Helene has dismantled her Barbie condo on the bleachers and is bored out of her mind. Daddy, can we leave? Not yet, honey. Daddy doesn't even glance away from the field. It's still the third quarter. I point that flip cam at her. Why don't you set up the furniture again? We can make a movie about your dolls. She curls her lip at me. They're Barbies. Barbie can be a movie star, I offer. As she places the plastic chair and the tables with great care, quarterback Johnny Petronas throws an interception. The East Norwich runs back for yet another touchdown. That does it for Dad. He goes off on a diatribe against the players, the coaches, even the guys who make the chalk lines on the field. I'm not immune either. He finishes with, what are you doing with that camera anyway? You should be in this game, not taking pictures of it. I know you don't remember how good you are, but I promise you are that good. I start to tell him I'm only here to cover the team for the video yearbook, but something makes me swallow the words before they hit the air. I understand on the gut level that isn't what Dad wants to hear. Instead, I find myself saying, I want to get back on the field as soon as the doctor gives me the okay. You'll see. I'll be out there. Dad nods pleased. That's who we are, champ. We're Ambrosi men. We're the doers. Other people take pictures of us. Helene acts out the entire storyline with her Barbie. I capture it on video, all while keeping up a running game commentary with Dad, who doesn't seem to be a Barbie guy. Surprise, surprise. When I play my footage back to Helene on the tiny screen, she squeals with delight. And there, sitting on the bleachers in front of a bad football game, it happens. I remember. I mean, there's nothing wrong with my daily ability to remember. I remember everything that's happened since I woke up in the hospital. But before the accident, except for that weird image of the blue girl, nothing. Until now. It's a flashback of Helene. She's probably what triggered it, because in my memory she's squealing just like she is now. No, wait, it isn't a happy sound. Her cheeks are red and her face is twisted and she's about to bawl. In the memory I'm holding a stuffed teddy bear, her favorite. I remember that too. Actually, I've got the bear in my left hand and its head in my right. I ripped off the head of a 4-year-old's teddy bear. Definitely not the memory I'd been hoping for. But still, I remembered something, I exclaimed out loud. Yeah? What? That actually turns his attention from the game. Something from before the accident. See, he's triumphant. Told you there's nothing wrong with you. You'll be back in commission in no time, and man, do we need you out there. On the field, our halfback takes a handoff and is buried under a pile of East Norwich jerseys. Dad's looking away, so he misses it. A tiny gap in the weak side of the defensive line. Our guy could have hit it. I would have hit that. A stutter step to the left. That's what I would have done. Juke out the linebacker and gone. My shoulders shimmy as I make imaginary cuts in my head. I see it now. I was a player. Correction. I am a player. And as I picture it, the image of the headless teddy bear starts to fade. After all, it's just a stuffed toy. Helena's perfectly happy now. No harm, no foul. I bet she's forgot it ever happened. Alright. Make sure you answer your questions today. Don't forget to click that turn in button, y'all.